Hey, and welcome back to the In Case You Missed It series. I'm Dan Toombs, your local Atlassian content creator, community leader, and host for today's episode. This being a new year, we are trying things a little differently, so join me as we dive into the first ICYMI of 2025. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, and in today's episode, we actually have some quite juicy little bits of information that we can go through. This video is only going to go over the highlights, so should you want to read the full write-ups of anything that I talk about, make sure you head over to the blog. First up, Atlassian has actually announced that Confluence will be getting a full visual refresh. Everything from icons to text is getting a pretty big facelift. The work is being done to help provide a more visual appeal for Confluence, increase the usability, and provide a better cross-product cohesion with icons that look and work the same. As always, links are in the blog for the full roundup where you can go and actually have a look at the new icons. Next up, we actually have some news for our JSM and Slack fans. Yes, at the very end of December, just before we all left to go off for our winter break, Atlassian actually announced a big improvement for Atlassian Intelligence. Yes, Atlassian Intelligence will now be able to sum up an entire Slack channel and JSM ticket, so a dedicated Slack channel and those JSM tickets for whatever it might be. Now you enter a simple command and away intelligence goes. It will be able to pull in all the important bits of information. Now this is being done with the idea of trying to get your new system engineers, the ones that are coming into any major incident and need to catch up fast, especially when this world is forever changing and at the pace that we're changing. We don't want our engineers to spend ages going through a Slack channel to find out what has worked and what hasn't worked to get up to speed now. So this summarizes everything in a simple message that can be provided. So it's a massive win here for Atlassian Intelligence. Finally, we head over to the platform section. Now there are some pretty big announcements here, so make sure you're paying attention. Firstly, the way that we manage apps within our Atlassian Cloud instance will be changing. Yes, our current experience within the Universal Plugin Manager, the UPM that we would all very much be familiar with for the last, 20 odd years. Yeah, it's a long time that UPM has been around, but that is going. What will actually be happening for Atlassian Cloud now is that apps will be managed centrally inside Atlassian Guard. This was based on some feedback Atlassian was dealing with the customers that were saying that it's easier to be managing things centrally rather than in specific areas. So that's the aim. They've moved it to Guard. It's not necessarily going to stop people downloading in terms of product admins, but it will be managed in one place. There is an article that went out on this exact subject towards the end of last year. However, it has only made its way just into the product update list. So yeah, this current experience would have just left us at the end of last month. Secondly, the API keys connecting your Atlassian platforms to your identity providers will now be limited to a 1-year life. Yes, they are no longer doing unlimited API key in terms of expiration for your IDP connections. Now, a lot of this is based around security, which I totally agree with, but what we are definitely going to have to make sure is that our break class accounts and our counters are set to remind us every year to refresh those API tokens, because if you don't, your authentication and your user provisioning will stop. So we need to make sure that they're doing it. And of course, as we wrap up today's episode, we're going to aim at a slightly more cheerful finisher, and that is the announcement that goals and projects, the once loved Atlas features, have now officially become part of the Atlassian platform. So you can find these on Atlassian Home. You may have remembered some of these announcements from last year at Team 24 and Team 24 Europe. But the better news is that these features are completely free for every single customer. So make sure you go give them a try. As always, go check out the blog for the full write-up. But for now, I hope you have a great week.